and I talk into the piece as well. So I used to take these train rides back home from Marcy. I was 22, I had been with someone for about 4 years, and I would write about how I felt, hoping to someday express it, but we broke up. Let's talk about it. If I only had the strength to be honest, maybe I could keep a relationship together instead of speaking broken promises. Falling in love could be so much easier if it came equipped with a harness. When I had little to no positive thoughts to harvest, you kept me shining in the darkness. Didn't care if I was broken and jobless, and when the disappointment knocked on my door, in your voice I found solace. Calling you a goddess would be the easy way out. Talk a good game, but never showed you what my loving was about. I had my doubts, questioning if I ever needed you, till I realized the little things I live without. In the midst of a drought, seeking what I had, but every time I run home, rejection keeps calling me out. I had a good one, I really did. Now I'm answering that hotline bling, settling for an average woman and a one-night fling. At this point, I'm used to the lust, this pain don't sing. I was a kid back then, these days I'm just a lost king. You see, accountability is important for what the next chapter brings. Maybe I learned my lesson, maybe I'm ready for another relationship. Let's see. Lakewood Drive is where our story begins. I was 26, dreaming of a woman who could help me find my wings. Time to go all in, and maybe she'll love me just as much as the money I provided for all her nice things. Could it be the guilt of my past sins, or the sex that pulls my strings? Just when my heart was leaving, my common sense was leaving. I said all the right things, even if I didn't believe it, cause feeling alone wasn't worth repeating. Use you, use me, that's the only way I felt completed. When you couldn't speak words of affirmation, I felt defeated. When I couldn't speak words of Birkin, you felt mistreated. If that ain't love in the modern age, you can keep it. Another opportunity to tell the truth, but my insecurities won't let me speak it. Should've bounced 3 weeks ago, but she had a way with ass that my pride couldn't let me leave it. Till she left me stranded at a gas station, and so I proceeded to drop the entire world till I found the self-love I've been seeking. These are my truths. I'm still in search of me. See, I've acknowledged my mistakes, the error of my ways. I'm ready to move on, I really am. Let me tell you where I'm at. Verse 3 is where I'm currently learning how to breathe, find a voice that best describes me. In a world where there's a lot to say but nobody speaks, I find myself living in a city that never sleeps. Take a deep breath and keep practicing my technique, cause I haven't spoken to my happiness in weeks. Do I stop chasing freaks and settle for a woman that makes me feel complete? These walks of life lead to spiritual destinations. These talks of life lead to powerful conversations. Walk up to my destiny and hand her my application. Checking into the Heartbreak Hotel without any reservation. So now in the most Gemini thing, I completely backtracked. Like this is so this one is called "Tell My Exes I Made It," and also just to add the power of the Jam's Nest, because I was like talking about it in the last two performances. I shouted you guys out, but I reposted like one of my performances. It was called "God's Caddy." And the inspiration from that song came from a song from an actual artist named Benny the Butcher. He has a song called John Peace Caddy. He followed me and like liked the song, and I lost my shit. Like I lost my mind. So this song is inspired by Dave East. He has a song called "Tell My Mom I Made It," but I changed it to "Tell My Exes" and wrote it in my own words. All right. Tell my exes I made it. Shorty, I made it. Somebody tell my exes I made it. Tell my exes I made it. Shorty, I made it. Somebody tell my exes I made it. Tell my exes I made it. Been overlooked my whole life, came home and cried all night. Tell my exes I made it. Couldn't afford happiness, so I took a different route. Survived the drought. Tell my exes I made it. Used to worry about how people felt about me, till I realized his critics wouldn't be able to live without me. Tell my exes I made it. I'm no longer impatient. Every day's Friday the 13th and I'm playing Jason, chasing the ghost of the greatest version of me, and created this beautiful safe haven. Without question, this my hardest line yet. Put my life on the line with the story in my pen. Sparring with the devil, asking me to run that shit again. I can't pretend that when I was 10, me, myself, and my weakened self-esteem became best friends. Remember seeing my critics be on the fence and call my talents a 4-week trend. Shot my chances down, so I made my middle fingers ascend. Extend my presence to these peasants in denial of my essence. Rents due, you son of a bitch, and I'm the tenant. Why we pretending that you can't see my ceiling on Mount Everest? Evident that money talks to my therapist. If that line went over your head, I'm saying that I feel like wealth. Women thirsting for my belt, cause I'm in control of the cards Julius dealt. But I ignore them and take care of my mental health, cause I've been married to the greatest version of myself. Tell my exes I made it. Been overlooked my whole life, came home and cried all night, tell my exes I made it. Couldn't afford happiness, so I took a different route, survived the drought, tell my exes I made it. Used to worry about how people felt about me, till I realized his critics wouldn't be able to live without me, tell my exes I made it. When should I start saying names of the games these married women played? Husband texting, don't stay up too late. If these DMs could talk, they say, do you give a fuck? Truck full of broken promises from women that had me starstruck. Like thought you was Bonnie and I was Clyde, till I realized you was like that with every other guy. Sheesh, that's what my brother says. Peace is what my iPhone texts. What's next? Getting to the check, time to earn my stripes. Ain't concerned with living up to the hype, I'm trying to live right. Where I come from, we see through the bullshit and watch for the knife. When it's all said and done, I make sure my legacy stays alive. Cause I wasn't born to serve, I was born to survive. Father named me Julius, mother named me Caesar. I was born in the trenches, so the streets raised me to a leader. Smash mouth, be a believer. I'm an overachiever when I pick up these letters and turn them into ether. Playing John Travolta with this Tuesday night fever. Tell my exes I'm Julius Caesar, bitch, I made it.
Yeah.